So I don't know if anyone else has had this issue, but I definitely know I have. Twice now, actually. And this time it was about like 10 times worse. Anyway, let's get this thing off here. I have been sitting here working on my computer. I've got a GTX 1050 Ti and a Intel i5 4670K, and got an MSI H8 1M E33 motherboard with 8 gigabytes of RAM, two 4 gigabyte sticks, and yada yada. I've got the basic. Oh yeah, it's dusty. That's gonna annoy me. I've got the power supply and the hard drive, a whole bunch. Well, I ran into an issue where my computer was literally on a power cycle, and I could not figure out what was wrong with it, so I took this off. I took out the motherboard battery thing, and I let it sit for, 5 minutes, put it back in, started back up, and it would start. It started actually perfectly fine. But then I noticed that it wasn't showing any video. So I was like, oh my god. Because obviously you have to take this off to fix it, to take that battery out. So I thought I burned out my GPU. Turns out I didn't, because I would take the GPU out, and then I would try to plug my my HDMI cable into my motherboard, and that didn't even work, actually. And it still would not start, or show. I mean, it started, but it would not show any video. So I was like, so it can't be either of those two. Either that, or it's my motherboard, and that would make it so no video would pop up on here either. But I still didn't give up, so I went through every single part. I then turned to the RAM sticks, which is really what I should have gone to first. I don't know why I did not. I took them out, and then I would put them in one by one, and I still was running into issues. I took them both out just to see what error sounds it would make. I knew it was probably definitely RAM, because it just doesn't make sense for it to be either one of these. I don't think it would be the GPU or the CPU or the motherboard, because it was still functioning. There was no error codes. If it was a power supply, I mean, I'd really think nothing else would work properly. I mean, there was no error codes, even if it was that. So what I did is I took this out, tested it with one or the other RAM stick, and I figured out it was actually the very left one right here. So I took it out, and it would run on 4 gigabytes of RAM. And then I got it started up and everything. But then I was just kind of joking around, I saw this little Reddit tweet thing where if you get a pencil eraser and you erase the clips on the RAM stick or any of the PCI clips for any of your stuff, then, it'll basically work okay. Just erase the residue off. And I did that, and it worked. I have been trying to fix this for 2 hours, and that worked. I feel like I wasted so much time for no reason, because I literally switched up monitors. I've changed HDMI cables 3 times. I have unplugged everything, reset that, taken the battery out, reset the BIOS, I don't know how many times. I've taken this GPU out a million times, trying to move it around and see if that fixes it, and that didn't do anything. And the very last thing I did was try the RAM. I really should have done that first. That would have saved so much time. So let me remind y'all, if y'all have the same issue as me, where your GPU fans are spinning, and for some reason you can't get video on either the CPU or the GPU, 9 out of 10 times it's probably your RAM. So try your RAM sticks. And if you only have one RAM stick, clean it. Get a pencil eraser and clean off the PCI clips and see if that does anything. If it doesn't, then it's probably your motherboard or your power supply. So then that at least limits it down to one of two things. Anyways, I hope you all have an amazing day. I have spent my entire night doing absolutely nothing when I wanted to go play some games on my computer after getting off work. Complete waste of my time, but I hope it helps other people in the future. Thank you.